Hey everyone, welcome back to dansfair.com. Again, that website address is dansfair, just like name. You'll see it right here, dansfair.com. I'm blessed to interview Mark Malkoff today. Mark is a comedian, a filmmaker. He's done a lot of interesting things. His website is markmalkoff.com. We will actually put a link to it on this blog post so that you guys can check it out. He's fantastic at branding himself, creating a name for himself by using unconventional ways to do it. And he's also, of course, heavily involved in social media and all that stuff. But we're going to talk to Mark specifically about some of the things that he's done to bring attention to himself, since this is a business and marketing blog. Mark, you are, first of all, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me on.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself. We know you're a comedian and a filmmaker. Can you kind of let us know a little bit about your background, how long you've been doing that?
Well, I've been doing comedy since I was a kid, since I was like 16. But I've been doing the larger than life videos since about 2003. And before then I was doing more like sketch comedy and stand up, but I always really liked the big concept, kind of larger than life pieces. And before there really wasn't a market for it until like the online stuff. And very, very, very quickly, I started getting national press, media coverage doing these videos, which was completely unexpected. I had no idea that that would happen. Basically, did stuff for fun, and I found that very quickly that I had a niche for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what came first? Obviously, you're at some age you discovered that you wanted to be a comedian, right?
Sure.
And then the
Yeah.
filmmaking kind of came afterwards.
Kind of. It was a little bit. I always did like my comedy, even when I was in high school. We would videotape certain sketches and show them and stuff. So it was all kind of like intertwined a little bit. But yeah, I really do like the video a little bit better than the live performance. Like I sometimes do a little bit of both, but I really like to be able to edit and do kind of like projects over the span of a week or two, rather than just getting up for 5 minutes in front of an audience, like the big conceptual stuff. Like if you look at some of my projects, some of them last almost a month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now, as far as what you do, you are basically an entrepreneur because you're in charge of creating revenue for yourself, right? I mean, you
That's
don't.
true. Yeah, like an independent contractor. Like I work with brands. Sometimes they'll knock on my door. I do videos for mydamnchannel.com, which has been a great, great thing. And yeah, I guess you're right.
So tell us, and for the audience that doesn't know who you are, Mark's done
Sure.
some incredible things to get media attention. I mean, I'm
Sure.
assuming you did them in order to create a buzz for yourself, right?
I did it. I really did pick these things. From number one thing is always doesn't make me laugh. Comedically is always my number one thing. The second one is it going to be interesting video content. Number three, is it challenging? I really like challenges. And then yeah, that does enter it somehow. Like, will it get seen? But there's definitely like stuff that I've said no to that probably would have gotten me in the headlines, but I just
Okay.
didn't, wasn't funny enough.
Okay. Now let's talk about some of the things you have done.
Yeah,
What was the first big thing that you did? Like I know you did the Starbucks thing. We'll talk about that.
sure,
You did the
sure,
IKEA thing, the
sure.
airline thing. What was the first thing that you did?
The first thing that got a lot of media attention that was insane was this was back, no one had done this before, but I formed a children's band. It was a Guns N' Roses kids tribute band. And I did it as a short video, a short film, where I had 200 children show up, a real audition, and they were all dressed like Axl and Slash.
Hmm.
And I just did this as a short video, and I thought it would be fun to have the kids play downtown at CBGB's just for the film, but I never expected it to be a real concert. But CBGB's wanted us to put on a live show. So within like a couple hours, I had every major publication after me. It was crazy. I mean, we were on in Rolling Stone magazine, Esquire magazine named it the most remarkable thing in culture that week. I had every TV show you can imagine calling me. It was crazy. I mean, it was insane, the amount of press coverage and just the amount of attention that this thing was getting, and it was again, like, I mean, the video to me was all it was what attracted me. Like, I taught the kids how to trash a hotel room. It was like it was just a fun thing. And once that started getting attention, it just kind of got me thinking that the other possibilities that I could really, make a living doing these larger than life videos.
And when was this? Just so we get a reference. What year?
Sure. The first conference, the first concert that we did for it was called Little GNR was December of '93, I believe, and then
Wow.
the
Okay.
big press started hitting, I think, in like no, I said '93. I didn't mean '93. I'm so out of it right now. I meant 2003.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry, I'm so tired right now. So I've been working on a new project, but 2003 is when it hit in December, and then very quickly, yeah, just the press started on me, and I just stuck with the videos.
So well before social media, well before even YouTube came
Yeah,
out, right? So
yeah,
it's not like you just saw YouTube being popular and then you decided to do videos.
no,
You've had this passion for a while,
sure.
and
I
and of
think
course
any, yeah,
and of course social media doesn't hurt you now, right? Because you're able to
no,
spread your content.
exactly. I've been able to get my stuff seen. I've been able to help other people, which is wonderful, and yeah, make a living. I mean, it's been an amazing thing that I can do like my ridiculous videos and get them seen by, in some cases, millions of people. It's a route that I never expected that's where I would end up comedically, but it's the most satisfying stuff I've ever done. Like living in IKEA was seriously one of the best weeks of my life. And it was all the result of me approaching IKEA, knocking on their door, and being persistent for 2 months until they'd meet with me.
So tell us about that. What did you
Yeah.
do? What was your purpose? And then just kind of explain to our audience a little bit about what you did.
My purpose was interesting video content. I promise that I did think that there was going to be some media attention, but I just thought it would be a guy living in a furniture store for an entire week. Just the comedic possibilities made me laugh. And I approached them, and it was like 2 months of back and forth before they met with me. I talked to Ketchum, who was their advertising, did their advertising, and I kind of like laid out potential scenarios. And I told IKEA, you have to meet with this guy. And within like 5 minutes of meeting me, they just said that they trusted me, and they handed me over their brand, which is unheard of. Like I was putting up videos without them seeing it. They're like, "We trust you." It was insane. They ended up winning all the PR awards. They won all the PR Week of the Year awards, which is pretty much the Oscars. They won Campaign of the Year and all the big awards just because they took a chance on me. And
Right.
for me personally, it was a huge step for my career. I mean, I had friends in other countries that didn't know about this, that were reading about me in the newspaper and seeing me on TV. So it was just beneficial. But the thing that I try to tell people is you never know. Like, I'm a huge fan of knocking on doors and just seeing what'll happen and being persistent, but in a nice way. You don't want to be too over the top and rude about it, but
Right.
I think definitely just like not giving up and just being persistent has definitely been a theme in my work, and it's definitely like amazing things have happened as a result.
Yeah, definitely a lot of entrepreneurial qualities there, especially the
Sure,
hustling, the persistence. What year
sure.
was the IKEA thing?
That was January of, I believe, 1998, and
Oh,
it
okay.
was a media circus. I mean, within 3 hours of me being there, I had the Associated Press and Reuters were there. I mean, I was doing a media thing like on a Tuesday. I had something scheduled, but within a couple hours Monday moving in, it was just nonstop. People were driving hours to see me. I mean, IKEA's business was up, their website traffic
Right.
was up. I mean, it was just it was yeah, it was really just an incredible time.
Now that you did not, IKEA did not pay you to do that, right?
No, it's interesting that you say that. They did not pay me because they said, and this is the truth, that if they paid me, it would be a commercial. So, but the upside is I own the content. Like, I own the content, which is huge. I mean, so I looked at it more as an investment. I mean, it was just like, that's the thing. Like, I kind of am like a small business. I think we all are. And in the beginning, it sometimes takes a while to make a profit. So I did comedically like lost money for many, many years while I was doing my thing and building myself up. And that was the whole psychology behind it. Like I remember talking to my grandfather when I was doing this, and he was trying to talk me out of it. And I equated a small business. It takes a while to make money. After that, he left me alone. He kind of got it. He's like, I never thought of it that way.
So that you definitely were on the map after the IKEA thing, right?
Yeah, I mean it was I was on every television show. I had made my national television debut in July of '97 when I did 171 Starbucks. So that was like my first big thing, and that's the IKEA people really liked that thing. So that kind of
Okay.
got me in the door a little bit, but I still had to, tell them what I was doing and kind of prove that I was gonna make them look good and my stuff is family friendly, which, I mean, I have friends that do stuff that's more like a little bit more from an older demographic, but I hit every demographic, which I think is a huge advantage for what I do.
Right. And the Starbucks thing then was before IKEA.
Yes, I did 171 Starbucks I think that was released in July of '97, and that was a crazy thing. I mean, I sent it to like one or two media outlets and it exploded. I mean, Jay Leno was doing monologue jokes. They showed clips of it on his show, and it was my
Wow.
national TV debut on the Today Show, and it was instant credibility. I mean, when you're trying to work with brands and you show them that you've been on the Today Show, you've done CNN, you've done Fox News, like every one of these things, like I've been able to add to it, and brands these days definitely they look at your Twitter, they look at your cloud score, they look at just your press stuff, but I definitely think, yeah, just like, and that's another thing I didn't do. I didn't do that with Starbucks approval. I kind of did it, and then they started showing up at my media events, and I have a good relationship. That was, I looked at that as an investment, and those were the two ones that I did where I kind of, wasn't getting paid. But subsequently, I've been able to since make a living doing this.
Right, yeah, legacy over currency, I guess, and you do the hard work in the beginning, and you hope that the money will start coming in later on.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
Very interesting. So now, for the audience that doesn't know, we're gonna have links to all the videos. You visited every single Starbucks in Manhattan, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
it was all 171 Starbucks in Manhattan in less than 24 hours. I had to go to a store every 7 minutes for 23 hours straight and make a purchase and consume something, and I almost died.
yeah, you. I was gonna ask, did you have decaf? Because at some point, I mean, the caffeine would just be way too much.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. I mean, I definitely didn't have caffeine at every single one, but my body was so out of it that after 14 hours, my body started to shut down and I couldn't walk straight. So, yeah, it was a crazy day. My body was in pain for days, but like I was really glad Starbucks liked the video. Like I had no idea. I mean, I was basically, and I respect any business, but their business policy is you can't take a digital photo in a Starbucks store. So I knew that they probably wouldn't be too keen on this video. So I just did it and I posted it. I got a lot of advice from people. That is one thing I do. Anyone that's watching this, every video I do, I get so much advice from professionals that I respect. I get a lot of advice and then make my own decision. But Starbucks, definitely, I talked to a lot of people and did my research. I took 2 months of research and training on a bike to pull it all the logistics off.
Now, a business related question: do you have any videos on YouTube? Do you post anything on YouTube?
I do. I didn't for a while, but I do. I've been starting to do a weekly vlog. I'm building up a new YouTube channel,
Okay.
which is YouTube / Mark Malkoff. But most of my videos are on my damn channel. But yeah, I'm trying to show up more. I think like definitely like showing up as much and building an audience and getting your audience emotionally attached to what you do is important to show up as much as you possibly can. I think that can only help.
Right. And now, future projects stemming as a result of all these things that you've done. What are you working on at the moment?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna be in Los Angeles next month for this crazy thing I can't talk about. But yeah, I've never really filmed a video project in Los Angeles. So I'm doing that. The tourism board of the Netherlands just came to me recently. So I was in Holland. They basically said, "Can we send you to Holland?" And I said, "Yes, you can." So I did that, which was awesome. They basically just wanted me to do videos. There was 101 other things to do in Holland, which was awesome. MarkVisitsHolland.com. So, sometimes brands come to me. Like I've worked with Cooper Vision, I've worked with IKEA, I've worked with AirTran when I lived on an airplane. I've done work with Ford Motor Company. So I have good relationships with brands. My stuff, if you Google my name, you'll see stuff all over the place.
So you've reached a point now because of the hard work you've done in the past where, and you're kind of in the right place at the right time with social media kind of
Sure.
exploding. Do you see this as I mean, obviously you're making a living on it now. Uh,
I'm very, very fortunate. I mean, it took me a long, long time to get to that point. I mean, I am now. Eventually, I really like doing these videos, and I'm so proud of the work I've been able to do online and the nice people that help me out. It would be nice. I really do want to start doing some television stuff, which, TV and online stuff is all kind of morphing anyway. Most of the TV I watch is online anyway, but I think I'd like to maybe go a little bit more long form. Like I'd like doing the short videos, but I think it would be fun to try to like maybe do like, a half hour show revolving around my stuff.
Now, have you been approached by any TV?
I have, like, I've been really fortunate. Like, definitely, I've had producers and networks knocking on my door. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it is always flattering. Anybody that likes my stuff, if it's my mom's friends that send me an email or people I don't know, which happens all the time. Like anybody that watches my stuff, it's just such an honor and a compliment to watch my stuff. Like I'm really, really grateful. So we'll see what happens. I feel like the bottom line, though, for anybody that's in business and anyone that's creative is you have to love what you're doing. You have to do work that you care about. And I really do think when you do love what you're doing and you're proud of the work, there's an authenticity that shines through. And I feel like that's what attracts people. And I just feel like you have to really find your voice. And that takes time. Like, I think that you just have to look at who you admire business wise, look at their career. And honestly, sometimes it takes years. I mean, the people I admire, I knew didn't hit for a long time. So that kind of helped drive me. I mean, essentially, I had a day job in TV for years. So I was working a day job and doing my comedy. It was two separate jobs that I essentially did for 10 years. I mean, it was really, really difficult to sometimes to keep going. But I really do feel like if you can, you can look at like your progress and see if you've made some like strides and kind of like just look at other people for inspiration and just keep at it. I feel like great stuff can happen, you know?
and Mark, I know you got to go. As we wrap up, did you ever reach that point where you felt, before you kind of became successful? Did you ever reach the point where you just said, I don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, I just want to give up, throw in the towel.
You know what? There were definitely times that were very difficult and times that I just was like, is something gonna happen? But I truthfully did not have a backup plan. I worked for I worked on a lot of TV shows and I worked for a lot of famous people. And there was one guy I worked with a while that's a well-known comedian, and he would just tell me how long it took him, and that really really helped to like kind of like look at those careers and stuff and just know. I have no backup plan, and they would always say he would always say don't have a backup plan because I do think when people have a backup plan, it's too easy to give up. And I know that college kids, like parents, hate that. Parents would never tell that to their kids. But I do feel like the people that I admire that really reach that pinnacle were ones, almost always 99% of them did not have a backup plan. And I just feel like, again, it's too easy to quit. So the answer is it never, even with all the pain sometimes that did happen, I never occurred to me to stop.
Thank you, Mark. I know you got to go. I'll be following you on Twitter, and
Oh,
we'll
thank
we'll
you.
do this again next time you do something
Oh, I'd
crazy. Okay.
absolutely love that. I'll make sure to take a nap beforehand.
Okay, yeah. And
That's
then when
fine.
you're about to do something crazy, let me know. Okay.
Oh, I'd absolutely love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. And this is Dan interviewing Mark Malkoff from dansfair.com, and we'll have all the links to markmalkoff.com up very soon. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you.